The Edge at 11 starts now.
And tonight on The Edge, Michigan head football coach Jim Harbaugh is suspended over allegations of sign stealing. The Big Ten announcing Harbaugh will not be allowed on the sidelines for the rest of the regular season. Harbaugh will still be allowed to coach at practices during the week. Tonight, U of M is not going down without a fight. It has filed a temporary restraining order, which, if supported, would prevent the suspension.
And if you're a fan, you know this couldn't come at a worse time for the Wolverines ahead of a big matchup tomorrow against Penn State.
Fox News' Camille Amiri has reaction now from Ann Arbor.
It's been a very lively night in downtown Ann Arbor, and everyone is talking about the same thing we're talking about, Jim Harbaugh, and it seems everyone has an opinion.
It's shocking news.
Foreign exchange student Saim Riaz reacting to the news that U of M football coach Jim Harbaugh has been suspended for the rest of the regular season.
We were in the game room earlier, and when we saw the news, we've only been here for a few months, and we dropped everything. We were shocked by it, right?
The Big Ten Conference suspending Harbaugh amidst the ongoing sign-stealing scandal Friday afternoon ahead of the game against Penn State.
I'm surprised he didn't show last second. It feels a little almost like a cheap shot almost, although I think that's me trying to, my Michigan fandom kind of showing through more than a unbiased take.
This is the second time Harbaugh has been suspended this year, previously by the university for on and off campus recruiting during the COVID-19 dead period.
I mean, when I heard the news, I was just like, this is a bit ridiculous.
I think they're a little hasty into it. Like, the NCAA is still investigating, and I feel like they kind of gave into some pressure from other teams, but yeah, we'll see.
The Big Ten coach has denied any knowledge of the sign stealing.
Out of everything that I've read, it seems like Jim didn't really know anything about it, and given their reputation as a team altogether and how the team reacted to the news, I don't think they knew anything about it at all.
I don't know if it was fair, but what happened happened. But I think Michigan's a great team.
And as far as Saturday's game goes,
they're going to win no matter what. They're going to win no matter what for the rest of the year, for sure.
And a temporary restraining order has been filed against the suspension, so it will be interesting to see what happens tomorrow at 12 noon if Jim Harbaugh is in the stadium when Michigan takes on Penn State. Of course, we'll have to see what happens. A lot of people following this one very closely. In Ann Arbor, Camille Amiri on The Edge.
And developing news tonight from Wayne State University.
The school's provost is under investigation and has been suspended with pay. We're talking about Mark Kornblue, the provost and senior vice president for academic affairs, suspended pending the probe's outcome. In an email, Wayne State's president says she received a whistleblower complaint, which merits further investigation. The details of the complaint are not being made public right now. In the meantime, Lori Lawson-Claibo, the dean of the College of Nursing, will fulfill his duties.
And tonight, a suspect has been arrested after a shooting earlier today in St. Clair Shores. It happened just before 9 o'clock this morning outside that Shell station on the corner of 9 Mile and Harper. One person was shot, and that person is in stable condition. At this time, their relationship with the suspect is unclear.
The man accused of making anti-Semitic threats at an Oakland County synagogue has been deemed unfit to stand trial in federal court. Documents from federal court say Hassan Choker, quote, suffers from a mental disease or defect rendering him mentally incompetent, end quote. Last year, you may remember, Choker allegedly hurled anti-Semitic slurs at people outside Temple Bethel in Bloomfield Township. The federal charges are gun-related. Choker still has cases out of Oakland and also Wayne counties. It was a violent attack on Armada police, which included throwing an officer down a staircase.
And now that suspect in that frightening incident has been charged. 43-year-old Christopher Lynch was being served a mental health petition at his house on Wednesday. That's when prosecutors say he assaulted 2 officers, pushing one of them over a second-story banister. Lynch is charged with resisting and obstructing police, causing serious injury. He's set to be formally arraigned on Monday.
Well, a family pleading for your help tonight, 10 years after the unsolved murder of their daughter. 30-year-old Chelsea Small was murdered behind what used to be a cash advance store in Taylor in November of 2013. Take a look at your screen. We're going to show you an image here in just a second. There it is from security video of the man police are looking for. He was 35 to 50 years old at the time. Again, this is 10 years ago. He used a .45 semi-automatic and silencer in Small's murder. There's no evidence to prove Small was targeted. Small's family hoping somebody who knows something will speak up.
And knowing that he's still out there, can do this again, it's always in the back of our heads. She loved her kids, and she was good people, as we say. She's good people. She didn't deserve this at all.
There's a tremendous reward, a $55,000 reward being offered if you can help solve the case. Call Crime Stoppers at 1-800-SPEAK-UP if you have any information about the murder. All right, more news ahead in a moment here, but let's talk about the weather. Cooler temperatures remain for the weekend, but things get a little warmer next week.
Well, something to look forward to.
Yeah.
Weather Authority Stephanie Mead joins us with our forecast. Steph?
Yeah, and temperatures right now, although they are getting cold, we do see the potential for a warm-up as we look into next week. 43 degrees right now in the city, 35 Cadillac, 34 in Fort Wayne, 36 in the Chicagoland area for right now. So those numbers are dropping, especially the further west you live. We don't have any, at least, returns on radar closer to us. Areas further north and northwest seeing a few lighter showers closer to, say, Cadillac, additional light showers from Muskegon all the way down into South Haven, kind of riding along the lakeshore there. Otherwise, for us tonight, we should eventually decrease cloud cover. Temps will bottom out in the low to middle 30s, and then highs tomorrow tapping out mid to upper 40s. Should be a chilly start to the weekend, but we are dry. We'll manage to squeeze out quite a bit of sunshine, too. Over the next 3 days or so, we should be in the middle 40s during the day on Sundays, so we're not deviating too far off in terms of our forecasted highs Saturday to Sunday. Luckily, by Monday, highs will be about 10 degrees warmer, upper 50s, partly to mostly sunny skies heading through the first part of your work week. As a whole, though, this weekend, not bad. You're still able to get out and enjoy it. You might have to wear a few extra layers, but we're not dealing with any precip. Saturday, 47, 46 during the day on Sunday. That cooler air that we're experiencing this weekend should retreat north. We'll see milder or warmer temperatures heading through the first half of the work week, and that's going to continue through the later half as well. And notice here we don't have much in terms of rain chances, not only this weekend, but through a good chunk of next week. The 7-day forecast shows numbers mainly in the 50s as we look ahead towards Wednesday and Thursday as well. Highs in the mid to upper 50s. Next chance for rain arriving by Friday with a few scattered showers as we head through the later part of next week. Rup and Taryn?
All right, and get used to all that sunshine. Looking good.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, thank you, Stephanie. Tonight, state lawmakers are pushing to allow terminally ill patients to end their lives on their own terms.
Supporters say it's all about dignity. Fox 2's Dave Kinchin explains.
It's very trying, and it's a lot of suffering. And individuals ought to be able to decide when that's just too much for them.
It's one reason why State Senator Veronica Kleinfeld of East Point says she signed on to a package of bills introduced in Lansing known as Death with Dignity legislation. It would allow terminally ill patients to use prescribed medications to end their own lives on their terms through their doctors if they choose to do so.
The bill has provisions for individuals who have been diagnosed terminal with 6 months or less to live. And they have to be diagnosed by 2 physicians, so there are safeguards in place. There's stuff in place for witnesses, and the patient has to be of sound mind and able to make these decisions for themselves.
The legislation also has a 15-day waiting period, grants access to insurance coverage for treatment, and protects doctors from criminal prosecution. But what are the bioethics of such procedures? Professor Mark Navin of Oakland University says the basic ethical value of medicine is a patient's own self-determination, but he cautions there should be limits.
We want to only let patients who have the ability to make these decisions be allowed to do it. We ought to worry about protecting vulnerable patients from being pushed into it, and we ought to worry about slippery slope concerns, right? So some countries like the Netherlands now allow physicians to provide aid in dying for children as young as 12 who aren't even dealing with terminal illness, but just have a mental illness diagnosis that's been intractable for treatment. And I think a lot of people are worried that that's where you end up when you open the door to the sort of laws that Michigan's considering.
The bills remind many Detroiters of the assisted suicide practices of the late Dr. Jack Kevorkian, but experts say this would not be the same thing.
This is not physicians actively engaged in administering life-ending interventions, but this is about patients who want to take life-ending medications on their own, being able to get that through a prescribed way, right, through their physician.
He made up his own rules. By the state codifying this, we're putting into place things that we can watch it as a state, the state can monitor it, and individuals have to be licensed. it can't be abused the same way.
There are still questions about how the exact state oversight would take place, what that would look like in totality. Also, the politics of this, particularly in the House, now that there's an even split with Democrats and Republicans there. And we should note, if the legislature passes it and the governor signs it, Michigan would join 10 other states and Washington, D.C. in having laws like this. Dave Kinchin on The Edge.
Tonight, a chance to remember several sailors lost on the Great Lakes.
The Dawson Great Lakes Museum hosting its annual Lost Mariners Remembrance. It was on this day 48 years ago that the SS Edmund Fitzgerald sank in Lake Superior during a violent storm. All 29 crew members died. A lantern vigil took place at the Fitzgerald anchor outside the museum, followed by a memorial wreath-laying ceremony. The Edmund Fitzgerald remains the largest ship ever to sink on the Great Lakes.